Today I'm going to be reacting to some takes on Reddit about some drumming trends that people mentioned may or may not have died last year. Some of these are great takes where others are absolutely awful. So as we go through each comment, I'm going to rate them on a tier list from a really good opinion that makes a lot of sense all the way down to a really bad take. So the question that was asked is, what drumming trends died in 2024? Hopefully the one where a famous player that obviously has heard everything hears Metallica for the first time. So this guy's obviously referring to Drumeo and their format where they get a famous drummer to hear something for the first time. I think it's a really good format. They get the most views out of any videos on Drumeo's channel, and that brings in a lot of business to their company. I think it's a really good business model. Also, this last year, 2024, has been the first time in the past 10 years where complete randoms on multiple occasions have come to me and said, like, have you heard of Drumeo? Even if they're not drummers or even musicians, they still love to watch these videos. So I think Drumeo has absolutely nailed it. This guy's salty that he thinks drummers have obviously heard those songs, so it's like lying. I doubt it. I don't think so. There are a cajillion songs in the world, and if Lionel Lewis grew up listening to jazz, why would he listen to Metallica? So I fully back it. I fully love that platform. I think this is a bad take. I'd place it at C tier. That trend is not going anywhere anytime soon, and I'm actually glad about that. I hate that dude on TikTok who paints on his kit and plays utter BS on them. So you've probably seen this guy. He pours paint everywhere and then plays and all the paint goes up. It looks really cool. I personally don't quite dig it, so I don't watch that guy too much. I get the artistic idea behind it. For me, there's two big reasons why I'm not that interested in that guy with the paint. Number one, it's very repetitive. So once you see paint the first time, it's cool. The next few times and the 100th and the 1000th time, it's just the same thing. Number two, I can't even imagine how much effort it is to put all that paint there and then constantly clean it up all the time. So this might be a trend that dies. I can't see that trend carrying on for so long because of the repetitiveness of it. So there is some truth to what this guy's saying. So I'm going to put it at A tier. Some personal real life and online observations. I see more people less focused on gear and cymbals and happy to just play drums. I fully back this comment. It is really nice to see there is a bit of a shift from what I've noticed as well, where people are no longer thinking that the best gear is what's going to get you the best sounds and it's going to make your playing sound better. It's actually just people getting whatever drums they can and they're just playing them. And I love that. You don't need a $5,000 drum kit setup to sound good and just play drums and have fun playing drums. You really can just get the crappiest drum kit ever, put some good heads on it, tune it well, and it will sound great. And people over time have started realizing this. So I definitely agree that this is a trend that has kind of taken a dip where everyone thinks that they need to have high-end gear. I mean, look at drummers like JD Beck and Lewis Cole. They don't even play with like the highest quality cymbals, and they're actual pro drummers. So this take goes all the way up at S tier. I was hoping the millions of reels showing some incel painfully stuck in that dry hi-hat hit tune snare playing, that tired 16th note Ferrone pattern with ghost note type exercise, and mistaking that for actual music. Is this guy talking about me? So he's basically just talking about all of us that post grooves on Instagram where you're playing 16th notes. I don't know if that trend's gonna die. I mean, I just feel like that's just playing drums. So this bro's obviously got quite a strong opinion that he doesn't like this, but I'm going to happily disagree with that. And I think those posts of us, me and other drummers just playing cool 16th note grooves, I think that's really cool. I don't think that's going anywhere. That is not a drumming trend that is going to die, unfortunately for this guy. So this is a bad take. It's going at the bottom of the list. Gospel chops. So Eric Moore won the Guitar Center drum off in 2003, which was 21 years ago. And since then, gospel chops have been around. I don't think they're going to go anywhere. If you don't know what gospel chops are, it just means for most people, they understand it as stringing linear patterns together around the kit to create a very packed sound when you're playing drum fills and you kind of flowing around the kit. So here's a few examples of what gospel chops are. Those are definitely not a trend. Maybe it was a trend a few years ago where people thought that gospel chops were the coolest thing ever, but now they're just kind of ingrained into drummers who play, especially in like the gospel community. These guys grow up in church and then they go on to play with pop artists like Eric Moore, like Aaron Spears, rest in peace. All these guys were very good gospel chops drummers, but they actually get hired the most to play with all these pop artists and R&B artists. So this is an awful take. I think gospel chops is not a trend that should die. In fact, I think everyone should actually learn to play gospel chops, to play these patterns that make you a better drummer. There's no reason avoiding them or being salty about them, because as you learn them, you become a better drummer. So why wouldn't you learn them? In fact, if you actually want to learn how to play these things and you don't know where to start, I have a free PDF linked in the description to this video where I show you some basic patterns that turn into chops like this that you can string together. Go check it out. Once you learn those, you'll be able to go from playing boring drum fills to playing stuff like this. So thinking gospel chops need to go and it's a trend that should die, that is a complete awful take, so bottom of the list. Those stupid unlathed dry ass cymbals that sound like hitting a license plate. Blows my mind that people would pay good money for something like a Zildjian Raw Crash instead of a K Custom Dark or an A Custom or something. So I actually agree with this. In the past few years, cymbal companies were bringing out some really questionable cymbals. I think it's mostly jazz drummers that are searching for sounds constantly, so they're seeing how can they push and improve or just build on the sounds that they can play around the kit, and that led them to playing cymbals like this that don't really sound that good. These cymbals that are they don't even have even surfaces, and it's like if making a cymbal was a 10-step process, they stopped at step 2, and here's the cymbal that you can play and pay $300 for it or whatever. I agree with this take. I think this is a kind of a weird thing that I don't quite get. Let me know in the comments if you actually like this sound and these cymbals, but I would agree with this take. I think that has some truth to it, so A tier it is. Using Drumeo to learn songs. Rest in peace. In the beginning of 2024, Drumeo had a massive list of songs that had transcriptions that you could play along without the drums, and it was like a whole learning thing. It's why a lot of people signed up to the Drumeo platform so that they could use these songs and learn from them. There were literally thousands of them, and it's why that whole format of famous drummer here's this song for the first time works so well. There's a video with Chad Smith playing 30 Seconds to Mars for the first time. It's got 50 million views. If everyone watches that, then Drumeo says, hey, if you like this, you can sign up to Drumeo. We have a whole platform of drumless songs to play just like this. It's a fantastic marketing strategy. So a lot of people signed up for it. Unfortunately, there were some licensing issues. I don't really know how it works. Basically, the people who licensed those songs that Drumeo was using didn't want them to use it anymore. So their giant platform of drumless songs to play with kind of got halved, so there's not as many songs to learn. So that's what this guy's talking about, that you can't use Drumeo to learn songs. There's some truth to it, but I actually disagree, because even though those songs got halved, I'd still say there's more than enough on the platform for any drummer to dig their heels in and learn so much. Drumeo still is the top drumming platform if you want to learn, and I don't think losing those songs should detract anyone from signing up to it. So I'm going to put this at B tier because I think that's questionable. Drumeo is still a great platform and you should definitely check it out if you're interested. Not seeing as many clap stacks anymore. Maybe my algorithm is changing a bit, but I can't say I've seen clap focus videos in a while. I see some truth to this as well. So if you don't know what a clap stack is, it's this type of cymbal that the drummer Trevor Lawrence kind of came up with Istanbul Agop years ago. And as of the end of 23, beginning of 2024, clap stacks started getting made by every company like Meinl, Zildjian, and Sabian. And they basically just make a hand clap sound and you can play that sound without having to use electronics. Very cool. The idea of that is absolutely incredible. But it was a trend that everyone started using these, and it just sounded pretty cool. But the trend is that if you were just scrolling on Instagram, you'd see a lot of people just playing clap stack grooves, which is... it's just how trends, they come and they go. So everyone who used to own a clapstack probably still owns a clapstack, but it's just not the focus anymore, which is cool. I think people who bought the clapstack to use it for exact musical purposes for whatever they're playing will still keep doing that. People who bought the clapstack because it was cool and other people were doing it might not be using it as much. And that's just how it is. So there is some truth to this. This is going at A tier. Can you guess who our drummer is? So this I fully am on board with. I hated this trend. It was definitely something that you'd see all the time. So if you go on TikTok or Instagram, there'd be a band and they'd film the band standing in the line and they'd be like, can you guess who our drummer is? And then everyone in the band would play drums, and obviously the drummer would be the best drummer, and that's the video. This is just a trend that everyone jumped on. They just started filming it. I hated this trend. It really annoyed me because I just don't see the point of posting that if everyone's doing it. So this is S tier. I think this is a fantastic take. I hope this trend dies. So what trends do you think have come and gone and should be left in 2024? Let me know in the comments, and then I'll see you guys in the next video.